Hi, my name is Eric Whitkop, and today we're going to talk about CI/CD pipelines. So a CI/CD pipeline is essentially an order of operations from the code commit in a repository all the way down to the server, VM, EC2 container, whatever's going to deliver that content to the end user. So it goes all the way from checking in that code. That operation by the developer will trigger a series of steps to get that code to its final end state where it can be consumed. Okay? And in that flow, we can do sanity checks on the code itself to make sure it's secure. We can secure the environment in the build state to make sure that the container or the EC2, in this case AWS, is secure and it does not have vulnerabilities or questionable foundation to where it's going to sit. Okay, so here we have a very simple app. It's a basic web app with a few HTML files, okay? This is all in AWS. Typically if this were a hybrid or on-prem, you would have various OEMs in these different areas on the left nav here. So this is a super simple conceptual representation of what a CI/CD pipeline would look like if it were all native AWS services. Here we have a source repository. We have some files in there, okay? Artifacts are simply output logs to an S3 bucket, things like that. Build is where we actually build the environment. We build the container. We build the virtual machine. Deploy, we get the code over there, and that's it. Okay, so how it should work is that when you make a change to the HTML files, it should trigger this entire order of operation from the top down and get it over to QA, staging, prod, whatever, right? Whichever environment you're looking at. So here's the app, real simple, like I said. This one is the production. This one's QA. I'm actually going to switch these. QA on the left, prod on the right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we're a developer and we're going to just do a quick modification of one of the HTML files, and we're going to watch the order of operation flow, and you're going to see that the end result gets delivered to the web server in question. So all we're going to do is I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to change this red to iron bow blue. Okay. I'm going to check the code in, put my name here, my email address, change from red to blue. Oh. And then I'm going to commit the change. From here, I'm going to run over to my pipeline and I'm going to watch the different steps. Okay. You can see the spinning wheel here on the right. It's compiling right now. It's actually already compiled it. It's at the deploy stage. And we're gonna be able to see our results. Okay, that looks like it is done. Let's go check here. Okay, QA is done. What about prod? Not done yet. So what I've done is I've added a manual step where I can approve I'm still waiting, it's still spinning. I can approve a change pushing to prod, right? And so maybe I'm a senior developer and I don't want to always push to prod, but now I can go in here and just review and say, oh, looks great, ready for production. And I approve. And you'll notice it keeps spinning now. Now we're going on to the next stage. Okay. Now, mind you, if a CI/CD pipeline is set up correctly and it has all the checks and balances and the security checks needed, you should, as your customer that is, should be able to push 3 to 5 changes per day to production, right? So now let's come over to prod and take a look at what this looks like. And there you have it. Now we've pushed to prod and the pipeline is 100% complete. Okay, so that's a CI/CD pipeline. Here is a look at a theoretical representation of a CI/CD pipeline. This flows from, sort of right to left here. You can tell code, build, test, release, and then in this direction. And what we're highlighting here is all the various OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, that can help support that component in the order of operations called a CI/CD pipeline. Now, you might be familiar with some of these, like this is Jenkins down here, Ansible and Kubernetes. That's at the operation state, right? When you're actually up and running and the users are consuming that content. But this is not exhaustive by any means. You'll notice there's not a lot of security products in here, and there's plenty of cybersecurity products that can also be layered into a CI/CD pipeline. Container security be one of them. Infrastructure as code, and making sure that initial code is secure, which is what we call shifting left, right? You can't go any more left than between the brain of the developer and the keyboard, right? That's what we mean by shifting left. When you're helping your customers or you're building your own CI/CD pipeline, you can go ahead and augment your flow with any one of these products to make it fit your needs. So let's talk about DevOps versus DevSecOps. We all know what a developer is, someone who generates code, right? And that's all they're worried about, is developing a great app. They're not concerned about whether it's on a container, virtual machine, what kind of services are being used in AWS. They're just concerned about code. Enter DevOps. DevOps is the individual, he or she, who may be in charge of the piping, the infrastructure that is going to deliver the code. A lot of cloud services. Not to say it can't be on-prem too, by the way, but DevOps is basically the methodology for how we deliver the end state, right? And they're in charge of what you see down here, the IT operations and the application security, right? Whereas DevSecOps is responsible for all those things and then also add security on top. And it's kind of interesting, you would maybe just have one name and have that person do all of it. But at some point, we differentiated between DevOps and DevSecOps. Certain people are not security minded. They don't understand what a stateful firewall is. They don't want to work with ACLs and things like this. So the industry has over time has come up with DevOps versus DevSecOps. But essentially that's the difference on the two. So that's also to say that DevSecOps can also do the job of DevOps. They have that security acumen under their hat. Thank you for watching.